that it's okay?
Yes, yes, everything's good.
Excellent, perfect. So welcome everyone. We're gonna start. We want to be very respectful with everyone's time. My name is Jimena Paul. I am the CEO and co-founder at Nala, a talent management partner. Uh, just a bit of context. Today, we're going to be hosting this webinar, both myself and my co-founder Mafe. Um, a bit about my background. I'm originally from Chile, South America. This is my second time around living in the US. I've been here for the last 10 years. And today I'm very excited about sharing with all of you some new features that we just launched in Nala that are going to be extremely helpful if what you're looking for is having a tool and a partner that's going to help you run smarter talent cycles at scale, data-driven, and minimizing at max the manual work required for all these cycles. So what to expect in today's session? We're going to talk very quickly around talent management. Most of the people that are watching this webinar, you guys are already in it. If you need further information or maybe want to check out our training cycles, you can definitely write to us about that and we can work something for your own team. But then we're going to jump into how you could effectively run end-to-end talent cycles within Nala. Talent cycle starts in some cases with performance assessments and potential, and then we go to the talent grid and then succession planning. So today we're going to show how some of that could be done on Nala. And we're going to show you how you can build and customize your own Ninebox, how you can run sessions with your management teams throughout locations and in different countries and everything online. So teaching out PowerPoints and Excel, everything in one system. And how you could turn on some of Nala's AI models, that's on you. In Nala, you can always decide if you want to turn them on or if you just want to keep on working more manually in the system. And we're going to do a live product demo. And of course, we're going to have some time for some questions. So first, very briefly, I'm going to talk a little bit about ELTV, employee lifetime value. This is a metric that aims to quantify the total value an employee brings to an organization over the course of their tenure. And what you're seeing here is basically, and you can look at this is just something that I took from Google. It's you can see how when we hire an employee, at first it's us investing in that employee, and then at one point then they start contributing to the company and they reach that maximal potential. Sometimes when that happens, they go to a new job opportunity within the company, and then it starts again. And what you're seeing there, it's like little Nala logos, because the main purpose of Nala as a software is to help you maximize employee lifetime value, and we have different modules. Today we're going to focus specifically on one of those modules, which is the one that you use to run talent cycles and succession planning. But in general, we think of Nala as a talent management partner, because the goal of an effective talent management is to help people not only stay longer in the company, it's do it while performing at their highest potential, and they're happy and they're thriving. So today we're going to be focusing on this part. And just as a quick reminder, like when we're talking about employees that are they're going above and beyond, and they're showing potential to growth, their expectation is to advance within the company. But a lot of time, and I know this might sound a bit controversial, growing in a company, it feels more like a matter of luck. You can be doing a great job, you can have the potential, but maybe the opportunity is not there. So it's a mix between luck, the opportunity, but also being prepared. And when we go back to like the HR function to increase employee lifetime value, from the HR team, we need to intentionally prepare those top performers who also have the potential to keep learning. That's our top talent, so that when the opportunity is there, they're ready to take it. So what is a talent cycle, and what are we going to refer as a talent cycle today? First, different ways, but it's all around identifying top talent and their flight risk, impact of loss, growth plans, whatever it is that we want to know, and we want to keep an eye on that specific group. The second part of the talent cycle usually involves identifying critical roles within the organization, roles that you don't want to have vacant for even like a minute. So you want to identify that emergency successor. You want to know who are the people within the talent pool that have the potential and how you're preparing them, and then building the succession plans. Understanding when you have a succession plan in place, the readiness, the actions that you have decided to focus in order to make progress, and the timeline as well. So today specifically, we're going to focus on this first part of the talent cycle, which is that it has to do with identifying top talent. And again, how do we make sure we keep an eye on their flight risk, impact of loss, and growth plans? So before we go into NALA, and this is like a very quick and general overview, around the talent Ninebox, this is a tool that we're using. It's a visual tool. It's a visual way. It helps us categorize employees in different boxes so that as an organization, we can make strategic decisions around development, succession, and talent management. If you go into NALA, the by default setup, and again, that can be customized, it's usually on the x-axis, you want to have something around performance, and that it's, we always tell a client, let's focus on the present. So what is making someone successful today? Is it the delivery of results? They're achieving some goals. Is it some specific skills or competencies they have for that specific role? Is it their alignment with the company's values? So again, think of one of this as the present and what makes them successful today. And the other axis usually is around some level of potential. So you're focusing on the future, in what could make them successful tomorrow. It's, okay, this person, what's their ability to learn quickly and adapt to new challenges? So when we start talking about the Ninebox, and again, companies change the names between the axes, it's just let's keep in mind that ideally you want to have one axis talking about what makes that person successful today, and that's going to be the criteria, and the other one, it's what can make them successful in the future. Do they have what it takes to adapt, to learn, and to face new challenges within the organization? When we start this process, and again, we're talking about the talent cycle, there's different roles between HR and the leaders in the stage. A lot of our clients, when we do the kickoff for talent cycle, it's important to remind ourselves that we have different roles. So usually the HR managers, the HR team, we like to see them as process facilitators. They're a guide and they're a coach. In this conversation, and maybe some of you can relate to this, our role is to bring a broader, more cross-functional perspective. We, a lot of the time, act as the organizational memory. So maybe you've experienced this. A manager, the last cycle, they were talking about this employee that was just the best. And now, specifically this new cycle, a year on, they want to get rid of them. So a lot of the time, part of our role is not just having that broader perspective, cross-functional perspective, is also that memory. Remind ourselves that managers, they're very focused on their business unit's goals. So sometimes it's more short-term. So that's why it's important that HR acts as that organizational memory, not just from the conversation they had with this business leader, but also in terms of what's been going on in the company. Maybe there's context to it. And of course, it's helping those managers align talent discussion with company goals, resources, and future needs. So it's making sure. So when we talk about HR, and this is something you can share with your team, it's important to understand that it's a critical role, and again, it complements what the leaders bring into the table. So I'm just going to be quoting one of our clients. If you manage people, you are a people manager. So this is like this type of exercise, it's pretty much part of your job description. But again, when a manager is in this process, they provide to us HR business context. And with business, I mean like their own business, whatever their scope is within the company. And that's something that we need to take in place. We learn from them things that are important within their own business. Their role is to evaluate thoughtfully and intentionally. Again, this matrix, it's going to be used we talked about before, it's a tool that we use to make decisions and to invest resources in certain people. So it needs to be like thoughtfully and intentionally. Decisions are going to be made. And again, it's the manager's role to make sure that they're given a real overview of their team and align talent decisions with their teams and functions objective. So make sure that's happening. The final goal is to identify the top talent. What you're seeing here, this is like the Ninebox, and we're already starting to see some of the screenshots from Nala. It's basically understanding who are the people in those 3 upper corner quadrants, because those are the people we're going to focus our attention. And then once we have that, we can start maybe defining some actionable items of what we're going to do with people that are in different places within the Ninebox. So it's not as simple. This is a Spanish quote. It's not as simple as it looks like. So for HR, manual work for this process is completely overwhelming. Most of the time goes into diagnosis. There's constant pressure to have up-to-date information. So probably if you've been through this, you're doing this manually, you're doing it on PowerPoint. It's exhausting. Just all of the time is spent on just updating font size. We're trying to bring in different parts of the cycle information from different units. It's a mess. We need a big team. And everything is done on spreadsheets and PowerPoint. So manual work, it's intense. All of this while having this constant pressure. For managers and leaders, they often feel that like it's a waste of time. They have to go to all of the sessions. Sometimes they don't see HR as a true partner. It feels like a corporate process. It's not something that's helping them make decisions on their day-to-day talent management challenges. There's also sometimes fear around HR. Depending on the level of trust, they may want to share or not real story. They worry sometimes that if they say something, they're going to be expected to make action right there. And so in general, it's a process that has a lot of manual work. There's sometimes misaligned incentives if there's not alignment, and sometimes there's friction caused by the lack of trust. So these are things we need to have in mind as we're thinking about kicking off this process within our companies. And again, part of why we decided to start Nala a couple of years ago and why we have been devoted to making sure this module works perfectly is we want to make sure on one hand that managers are not, that HR teams are not overwhelmed with all the manual work, and the diagnosis is done by the system so that they can focus on having meaningful conversations with managers. And at the same time, managers can have access to the information on their team so that they can make better decisions. And everyone is aligned. It doesn't matter where you are. Everybody has access to updated information. So now we're going to move to the second part of the session. It's how talent cycles work in Nala. And at first, and very quickly, I'm just going to go over some slides, and you're going to see some screenshots and the look and feel in Nala. Today, I'm just going to focus on these 3 things that you could do in Nala. Next session, we're going to talk about how you can work on the succession planning features in Nala. And then I'm going to do like a quick live demo and before we go into the Q&A with our team. So first thing in Nala, you can build and customize your Ninebox. So it doesn't matter if maybe you have last year's information and you just want to upload that Ninebox and that's your starting point. We can just upload it and it's going to be visible in Nala. Other companies, they prefer to run through our system performance and our potential assessments directly through Nala. And that's the information that's going to be uploaded to the Ninebox, and that's where they're going to start making adjustment with leaders. Or sometimes they just want to manually add a list of employees to be just placed in the same position in the grid, and then in this session, they're going to start moving them around. Besides this very flexible way of building your own Ninebox, within Nala, you can decide the names of the axes. You can change the name of the boxes. You can change the colors. There's a lot of things you can do in order to customize your Ninebox and the Ninebox your team is going to be working on throughout the sessions. When you go into Nala, and this is where you guys can start using Nala as a tool to work with your managers. You're going to see first the talent Ninebox with the information however it is that you decided to create that Ninebox, you're going to also see on the right side the calibration panel or the adjustment panel. And that's where you're going to be able to make adjustments. And if you're a manager, if you have a lot of people under your hierarchy, you're going to be able to see how they're making progress in the process, and the talent readiness table. Okay, so don't worry, we're gonna double click on each one of them. So this is basically a typical overview of a manager going into the session. So first, you're going to see they're just going to see their direct reports. They're just going to click on somebody. Once they do that, they can just start making adjustments or a calibration. They can use the drag and drop functionality. They can add comments. They can update information on attrition risk or impact of loss, and they can add badges. So badges is another thing that as a company you can add to the process. So some of our clients, it's not just about understanding where somebody is within the Ninebox, it's also putting a badge. Maybe they have been in the role for less than 6 months. Maybe they just want to highlight people that they think are cross-functional. So maybe we can have them as people that could be maybe eventually moving from another vertical within the company. And then you can, of course, save, and just once you save and you close, you're going to lock that process, and then the next level of review starts. If you need help, Nala can help you with the calibration process. So over there, you're seeing the adjustment helper. What is that? Like once you activate that, basically Nala's is gonna create like a mini Ninebox, a floating Ninebox. It's a visual tool, so that you can maybe have a better understanding. Maybe you've seen this, managers, they tend to put everyone on the upper corner by showing them this floating Ninebox. A lot of the time, that's the conversation starter with their HR business partners into making sure the team is more distributed, so that you can actually focus on people that are top talent and really understand what you're going to do with each one of them. Last part, this is the talent readiness table. So whatever you're doing on the Ninebox, the table is going to be updated. And what I'm showing you here is basically, and this is like the 4 arrows, the red arrows. These are all sections that you can update manually, or you can activate our AI-powered features. So you're talking about a person. The first thing is their attrition risk. You can do that manually and just go in and just, according to your experience with that employee, just put if it's at a high, medium, or low risk. The same with the impact of loss. What happens if is this a big deal if this person leaves because of the role they have, or maybe the knowledge they have? You can add successors. So HR business partners, you can add or approve suggestions from managers. Managers can only suggest successors or suggest potential career moves. But what I want to highlight here is that when we're talking about attrition risk, impact of loss, potential successors, and potential career moves, these are all AI models that you can decide if you want to activate or not. So depending on how you're seeing your organization, or maybe some of the security or IT requirements, we can start to work with you guys without the AI-powered features. But when you're ready, you can just update that. And it's not just about getting the feedback from your managers, it's also about what the data is telling us, because Nala's going to have full visibility of everyone within the company. From conversation to action, one of the things that motivated us to build this talent cycle module is the fact that a lot of our clients were spending all of the time just getting to the diagnosis. Okay, so it's like you go to the doctor and you get all this tests, and once you have the diagnosis, they send you home. So part of automating all of this and making it very user-friendly and intuitive is the fact that diagnostic is going to take very little time. So you're going to have time to have those conversations, not just in making adjustment, but in actionally documenting actionable items for employees, so that then you can follow through. So within Nala, you can add next steps with an employee that you identify as a potential successor for a position, and also you can also add an action plan for somebody that has a concern around their performance, and maybe if the next cycle that remains the same, maybe there's going to be another action taken. All of these action plans, you can document them in Nala. You can decide if they're going to be visible or not for the employee. And also, you have a full section where you're going to be able to download that, and you're going to be able to track progress because you're going to be able to put owners, timelines, and even attach some resources to those things. So again, it's extremely important once you hire Nala as your talent management partner. It's not just about the diagnosis, it's also Nala's going to help you move the conversation into action so that in between cycles, you're making progress with all of the agreements and all of the conversations that happen throughout the sessions. This is just a quick overview, examples of our AI models. So what you're seeing to the left, when you have Nala's attrition risk model, Nala is not only going to give you an insight of what's the attrition risk she thinks this employee has, it's also going to try to explain you under what area the risk is increasing, and it's going to give you customized advice according to the company's and that employee's experience. So that's, of course, one of the added value of doing this with an AI model that's going to be trained on your data and your employee feedback. And on the right side, you're going to see this is our succession planning card. And we're going to talk about more of this on the next session. But basically, when Nala is, when we activate our critical positions model, Nala is going to help you identify critical positions throughout the organizational chart, and also going to suggest potential successors. So ideally, it's not just about building these cards with the feedback of the managers. You also are able to activate the full power of Nala's AI models into making sure you're understanding your real talent pool, and also making sure you have a focus and very visible those critical positions for the company's operations and strategy. So now I'm going to go to the live demo. And after that, we're going to open the mic for some Q&As. So I'm going to go now to Nala. And Cami, could you please just confirm that you guys are seeing my screen?
Yes, we are.
Okay, perfect. So today I'm going to be showing you this from a manager's perspective. So Mark, it's a manager. Like I told you, once he goes in, it's super easy. You just go to the Ninebox matrix, and by default, Mark is just gonna receive his or her direct reports. And this is basically, you can either show the pictures of the people or just the name tags of these persons. If he wants to start calibrating, he just goes and click and then make adjustment. And again, with Manuel, this is example we're doing, he can just drag and drop and move that person around. He can go here and just write a comment to what I was saying before. Over here, for example, he could update the attrition risk. And remember, attrition risk and impact of loss are one of those features that you can do manually, or we can add the AI feature on it. And this is the badges that I was telling you about. This is customizable. So before we move any further, I just want to highlight some things. So if you have done this process in the past and you have all the information in PowerPoints and in Excel or even in another system, that's not a problem. We can upload all of that. Our team is going to do that so that over here, when you go to a Ninebox, you're not just going to get this Ninebox, you're going to get maybe 2024 and 2023 cycles information. That's one thing. The second thing is that you can decide if this year's Ninebox, how you want to do it. Like I was mentioning, do you want to, let me just save here. Do you want to create a new Ninebox? Or do you want to just start from last year's results? Sometimes that's it. The other thing that I wanted to show you is the adjustment helper. So I mentioned you, like if the manager is having trouble just doing that, this is how it works. So this is responsive. So depending on how concentrated the people are within one area, the floating Ninebox is going to change. And again, this can be something that's helpful. If you're doing this and you're a manager or a lot of managers, you and the business partner, you're going to be able to see the progress over here. And you're going to be able to see if your direct reports have already started calibrating their teams. When I was talking about customization, I mean like all of these things, like you can change the color, you can change the names of the grid, you can filter information, but different kinds of filter. Once you're done with the process, you can download the image. And then everything that you're doing on the Ninebox, it's updating the talent readiness table. So over here, you can see how there's a lot of people, and you can start again and you can start here and just update whatever it is that you want to update over here. And as a manager, and this is a bit different, like you can just go and you can, so this is the person, you can suggest a successor for the position, and only suggest. Managers cannot just add people. Only HR partners can do that. Or you can suggest a potential career move. Again, finding potential successors for a position and finding potential career moves for an employee are also two things that we can do with our AI-powered model. If not, we can just do it manually and just input it in Nala. And then once you have this, you can just download the Excel with all the information. Over here is where Nala is going to save every suggestion that people are doing, so that HR partners can go and do it by themselves. The other thing that I wanted to show you is the fact that we could, like once you're doing this, and once the calibration is done, that's going to be something that you're going to have the ability to just review it maybe for the next cycle. Everything like the employee profile, action plans that were stated, maybe some goals, you can track that. And of course, Nala is not just this is just one part, but ideally, thanks to this feature, we are replacing all of the manual work with PowerPoints. We are providing our clients with a tool that's going to allow them to run efficient adjustment sessions. And we're giving managers full visibility of their team, and we take it one step further. We're allowing them to, with their HR partners, document everything that they say they're going to be doing, so that once the cycle is over and we're actually managing talenting throughout the week, they're going to have full visibility of this. So just to give you an insight, and this is, I'm going to very quickly show you something that we're going to do probably next session. When you have a person and they're, for example, if they're in a critical position, you're going to see a diamond here. If they're a potential successor, you're going to see a rocket. So within Nala, it's not just about the process you're running. Every time you update something, that's going to upload the employee profile. If that person is considered a successor or it's on a critical position, it's going to make it visible. So whenever it is that you're talking about that person, Nala is going to make it very visible that you're talking about somebody that has either it's being prepared to become a successor, or they are in a critical position. Over here, you can access different action plans. If this person is meant to become a successor, you're going to see in this section, okay, these are agreements or action plans around the succession planning. These are just action plans that they agree with their manager as an ongoing performance. So now I'm going to go back to the presentation. And of course, after this, you're gonna get the full presentation, and not only that, you're gonna be able to access Nala demo if you want to explore it. If you guys are leading the HR function, I would definitely suggest going as an admin in this link, because what I just showed you was from a leader's perspective. From an admin perspective, there's other things you can do. And before I give like a quick closing, I just want to open up for Q&A. So Cami, I'm not sure if we have some questions there. I cannot see the screen right now, so I'm just gonna
let me check.
Stop sharing.
We have a question here that says, how can we use insights from the grid to accelerate leadership development programs and close skill gaps faster?
Excellent. So to that question, and if whoever made that question, it would be great if we can maybe schedule like a quick follow-up call. Specifically with the talents, in Nala, we have two tools. One tool is the Talent Ninebox, and the Talent Ninebox, it's meant to identify top talent, and that's and it's going to help you like when addressing a manager. It's going to give you a quick overview of how the team, like how much top talent is within that team, and you're going to get a lot of information around engagement and other things from that manager. But we have another tool that it's specifically designed to do what you're talking about. So let me just very quickly share this. So a lot of our clients needed something like that, and that's why we decided to add, besides the Ninebox grid, the leadership matrix. So the leadership matrix, it's a way, it's again, it's another visual tool. It's a bit different because you can have somebody that it's a top talent, but maybe they're not a great leader. So a great leader for Nala is somebody that has a team that's stable, productive, engaged, and you're also getting good feedback around leadership skills. So what I would recommend in that case, specifically for your company, it's we could definitely run a leadership assessment, and with very few interactions with your employee, we could show you not just the talent Ninebox, but also the leadership matrix. And the cool thing about the leadership matrix is that it will help you from a leadership gap perspective, help you understand how you can. So let me give you an example. So here we have Hugo, okay? So the score, which is this axis, it's around the ENPS their team got on the last assessment, performance, and the voluntary turnover that manager is having with the team. So depending on, and at skill, he's very low. Maybe your biggest concern with Hugo is going to be around turnover, and that's going to be your priority before starting to work on his skills. You really need to understand why is the voluntary turnover. And this is where all comes into place, because when you go into an employee's profile, and let me just give me 1 second, because I wanna change to the admin profile, because it's gonna make more sense for the question. And right here. Okay, so right now you can notice it changed. Now we're with Linda. She's the admin. So
you're not sharing your screen.
Okay, sorry. This is Linda, okay? And because Linda is an admin, she gets a full visibility of an employee. Okay, so in this case, Linda, she's the admin, but she cannot see her location on the Ninebox. But if you're looking at somebody that you're the business partner, or it's a manager that's under your report, you're going to be able to see where they are on the talent grid. And also, you're going to be able to see where they are on the leadership matrix, okay? And the leadership matrix, and again, on the profile, you're going to very, very quickly understand where they are, their team's performance, their team's ENPS, Net Promoter Score, and the voluntary turnover, and how many people are under their management. And then if you want to click more, Nala's going to give you access to the actual assessment that we did on skills on that person. And this, you can use our model, or it can be customized. It's going to show you either by category or by questions, where are those leadership skills that they're doing great, that they need to work on. And depending on the assessment, we're going to suggest some resources or maybe some warnings that those people need to have. So again, when we're talking about Ninebox and the leadership matrix, we always suggest, like if your goal is to close those leadership gap, it's important to understand how is the talent grid from that manager, because if they have a lot of top talent or people that you're preparing for other things, you need to make sure attrition risk in that team is low. And the attrition risk model is going to give you insights of things you could work on with that manager. But from a leadership perspective, I would definitely suggest, let us just run a quick assessment so that you're going to get not just the insights of how relevant it is to work on these leadership skill gaps, but also, is this where we need to start? Is the main thing that we should focus on this manager, is it their skills, or is the fact that there's very low engagement for something that are out of their control, and maybe we're going to help them make sure we stabilize the team before. So again, ideally, and this is how Nala works, and I'm gonna go back to this, is our goal is that it doesn't matter what process we're talking about. It's the fact that Nala is going to be the partner that's going to help you. Okay, this is my goal. This is what I want to accomplish. Our team is going to sit with you. We're going to plan that out. We're going to walk you through the process, and we're going to also suggest like what's the best way to use the platform for your goal, so that we make sure that if what you're looking to do, it's just bring that gap down in 6 months. We're doing what it takes from Nala in order for you to have clear diagnosis fast, but also we're going to help you monitor, and it's going to be very easy for you 6 months in just to do a quick recap and understand if some of the KPIs you're looking to move were actually improved or not. Cami, do we have any other, but definitely, like, if you're interested in that, I will be more than happy to just understand more what you're thinking of and show you. And the other thing, and this is with not just managers, any employee, Nala keeps an updated profile of everyone. So let me just go here. For example, Linda, she's the admin. Let's just go into, okay, Mark's profile. We just saw his profile from his role. So you're gonna see here with Mark, he has a lot of information. Of course, Mark, he's not gonna be able to see his own attrition risk. He won't have access to his leadership matrix. He's just going to have some feedback on his skills, and depending on how we set it up, he's going to be able to see. But Linda, she can see everything, and that's the cool thing about it. It doesn't matter if you're going to have a one-on-one. Ideally, you have a one-on-one with Nala 30 minutes before, and it's going to give you a good idea of how to focus that conversation. And not only that, just maybe go back and review the agreements or the action plan that was set up, and just update progress with the manager. Cami, do we have any other question?
Yeah, we have another one. So, if I mark someone as a successor, can you walk us through a real example of how a manager might use the Ninebox to create an action plan for someone in a critical position?
Let me just share screen. Great question. Okay. So I am here, okay? Let's go to the Ninebox. I'm just gonna, again, Linda's the administrator. I'm just gonna go to the direct report. So this is her team. And again, we want to, okay, let's, for example, a successor. So we're gonna add an employee. We're gonna search. Let me see if we can find someone. Okay, so again, this is fake data. So, okay, we figured out. So I'm saying that Mark, for this new role, maybe it's going to be 1 to 3 years. Okay, the attrition risk is either what you have set up or what the model is saying. We're going to save this. And this employee does not have any actionable items assigned yet. Start now. So just click here, and I'm going to go to his action plan section. And over here, I can just create an actionable item. So I can say here, this is the one that we were doing right now. This is for this specific role. I want to hide this actionable item for the employee. You can, by default, it's going to hide it. Maybe you want to make it visible. You want them to know that this is something that is part of their succession planning. And over here, you can just write whatever, I don't know, improve communication skills, and then start date, and maybe this is going to be all the way up to July. You can create your own category. So maybe as a company, you want every actionable item to follow under 6 topics, verticals that you're going to be working. People that are going to be involved, and you can also add some resources. Okay, so once you do that, and I'm sorry, and then you save it. Oh, something went wrong. Okay, the category. I need to put a category. So that was the error. So now I'm going to save it, and now it's there. And you can see here, depending on the red and the green, is this already done? Is this in progress? When you see like this little thing, it means that it's not visible. So you intentionally put it, and that's how you do that. And again, when we're talking about action plans, usually when these conversations happen, okay, sometimes when you're after you finish doing your adjustments, again, like what we saw on the PowerPoint, when I'm talking about my direct reports, you want to understand who are the people that are in these three things. And maybe you're going to start with them and really focus on their attrition risk and potential career moves and one of the things we're going to do. But a lot of the action plans also should happen with people that are in different boxes. So again, when you create those categories and we can customize them from you, maybe you're going to have a category that is a performance concern, or not sustainable, whatever is the name. And that's where you're going to put any action that has to do with, okay, we're giving this 6 months. If in the next cycle, this person remains in this box, and we already did these things, it means maybe that person is going to be out. So ideally, when you're having those conversations, it's not just growth, it's also any action that you're talking with managers in their sessions that you want to follow through. And by doing it in NALA, that's going to allow you and your business partners to have a full report on everything that was agreed on, but also from time to time, you can update progress. And then we can measure impact. So another cool thing about using a system like NALA is that imagine the data that we're going to have. So this is just the beginning, because once you start using a system like NALA, you are able to track certain KPIs. And again, it's the same system for a manager, for an HR business partner, for the CEO, depending on the role where they're going to be visible. But now everyone is aligned. Everyone has access to the information, and this is live and ongoing. Cami, do we have another question?
No, Jimé, we don't have any more questions.
Okay, I just want to very briefly highlight that if you are already using a system, we do connect via API with a lot of HRIS, with a lot of payroll systems, even with ERPs. So this is a tool that you guys could have, even if you already have data scattered through different systems and spreadsheets and PowerPoints. Our team is very good at making sure everything remains in one place updated, and we can automate that. And the other thing, and this is, I'm just going to go very quickly to the presentation, is that we're going to have a next session. So today we very quickly review how you could effectively run talent cycles with NALA. We just focus on the first part. The second part is, okay, how do I know which are the critical roles? Like from a 10,000 employee company, I cannot work with everyone, but from HR, I need to know where are those roles and specifically focus on those succession planning. And so this is what we're going to talk more, how to identify those critical roles, how to identify potential successors out of a big talent pool. And that's going to be in a month from now. So you're going to get that invitation. And just in general, I want to invite you to learn more about what we do at nalarocks.com. NALA has many modules. We can help you with onboarding and employee experience. We have performance management and full talent cycles features. We have succession planning. We have talent analytics, and we have several AI models that you could activate whenever you choose to do so. So if you like what you saw, and maybe you would like to follow up with a call just to talk about talent cycle, I would love to hear from you. And just go to nalarocks.com, schedule a discovery call. And if maybe it's not about talent cycles, maybe you want to learn more about other modules that we have, or you would just want to get a quick overview of how we could help you with the challenge you're facing right now. Again, go to www.nalarocks.com, schedule a discovery call, and we'll be able to talk more on one-on-one. And of course, everyone super invited for our next session. It's going to be in a month from now. You're all going to get this recording. And I want to thank everyone that made it today. Happy to share this that we have been building with our clients, and excited about potentially working with some of you guys during the next couple of months. So that'll be all. Thank you so much, everyone, and we'll be in touch.